Live from the Clarity from Chaos studios, heard worldwide, it's Dave Campbell. On every episode, Dave and his guests explore, discuss, and work on solutions to some of life's biggest challenges. So, if you're ready, be prepared to be enlightened, amused, and even shocked by what you hear. And now, the real, the authentic, the one and only Dave Campbell.
Hi there, I'm Dave Campbell, and welcome to Clarity from Chaos. We're incredibly pleased to welcome back someone who has been sounding the alarm against the growing socialist movement in this country, someone who has been trying relentlessly to warn us about the devout socialist, or really a communist, who's been leading the charge in trying to destroy the United States. The author of the best-selling book, The Soros Agenda, Dr. Rachel Ehrenfeld. She is the founder and president of the New York-based American Center for Democracy and the Economic Warfare Institute. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
I'm glad to be here.
So let's just start off with talking about the Open Society and Soros, because he seems to be quite the scoundrel, and I cannot understand why he hasn't been brought to task on his dealings.
So, President Trump actually tweeted earlier today that both George Soros and his son Alexander Soros, who is now running the Open Society Foundations, should be brought up for charge, should be investigated for RICO. So, because they are throwing chaos and funding all kinds of violent demonstrations around the country, and their did you say it? Psychotic friends in the West that support them are doing that, and therefore George Soros and Alexander, his son, should be investigated for RICO. Okay. He didn't provide any evidence, didn't give any details about why is he saying what he was saying, but I don't know. Hopefully he has a copy of my book, The Soros Agenda, and there is plenty of material there. And I'm sure that Treasury and, I don't know, possibly the FBI or intelligence services have some information about their activities. Though when I was researching the book and the middle of writing, and I tried to get any information from people who used to work at the CIA, the response was, Soros who? Never heard of him.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we know that the deep state has been working for a very long time in this country.
Right.
And that the left-leaning progressive forces have been in action for decades. So this is not surprising. This was not surprising, but it is interesting to see that the newspapers who reported and the websites who reported on this on Trump's tweet, everybody mentioned that Soros is a Holocaust survivor. What does it have to do with anything that Soros has done? Soros has done or what Alex is doing? Nothing whatsoever. But to say that he's a Holocaust survivor is to trivialize actually the Holocaust and create more anti-Semitism. That's the only reason. And he never tried to, actually, he was promoting this, that he's a Holocaust survivor. We should feel sorry for him or whatever. So he has the right to do all kind of, I don't know, things that don't look right to many people.
I wouldn't think, Doctor, that would give him a free pass to do the things that he's been doing.
It did until now,
Right.
and he actually trivialized anti-Semitism, and since he doesn't like the George Soros is on record saying that he didn't like the Jewish state, the Jews shouldn't have a state of their own. I guess 35 actually having a state was not good enough for him as evidence. So he's been supporting for decades, directly and indirectly, pro-Palestinian, even designated Palestinian terrorist organizations, and they've been both of them continuing to fund many anti-Israel, pro-Hamas demonstrations since the October 7 attack of Hamas on Israel.
Yeah, I would think, and this is just speculation on my part, that a lot of his dark money has been going into these college anti-Semitic protests and stuff like that as well. Yeah,
Why? Yes, but it's not only colleges. It's everywhere. It's
right, right,
to newspaper, website. The whole propaganda campaign in order to delegitimize actually the Jewish state of Israel.
right. Yeah, I hope the AG picks up on this and goes forward with it because, like I said at the beginning, he's quite the scoundrel, and he's been funding all kinds of efforts to tear down the very fabric of this country, and I just don't think that that should stand one way. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that are getting their pockets full of money by him, but that's still
Listen,
that's still no excuse.
demonstrations now to against of demonstrations to support Mamdani,
Yeah,
the
there you go.
mayor candidate. Or demonstrations against a Republican congressman in Cleveland, Ohio. Protesters who go there are companies now that hire people to go on such demonstrations,
Right,
and the money that they are paying is coming from Soros Foundation and related foundations that get money also from him. So in Cleveland, I guess New York, it's more expensive, but in Cleveland, to go and disturb and create chaos in a Republican candidate for Congress, demonstrators were receiving $200 a piece. Okay, so I guess kids who don't have anything else to do can actually probably made a lot of money because this is how they are paying a lot of money for this.
well, yeah, and then you couple that with the district attorneys and stuff that Soros has been putting in place
Sure.
to where he can pay somebody to go out and help create this chaos, and they have absolutely no fear of jail time or anything else. It's just in one door and out the next. So,
No, because they funded the district attorneys and prosecutors in many states, in many cities in this
right.
country,
Yep.
so that they will be there not to follow the law, not to
Right.
enforce the law. So the demonstrators now get money to go and create mayhem. Okay, so they already are sure that they will be either not arrested or walk without any problem.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty disappointing when you think of the previous administrations, and you mentioned it earlier about this has been going on for decades. It's pretty disappointing that you've had politicians up until now with President Trump that kind of are either in the circle of being paid to keep their mouths shut or whatever, but they haven't done anything with Soros, and he's been at this for quite a while. And so it's
Well,
pretty disappointing when
maybe
you think about the politicians that have been involved in this.
Well, he is the biggest funder. He has been the biggest funder of the Democratic Party. He started with the PACs, with political action committees. It was his idea years back when Obama was running. I mean, so you don't know who actually contributed the money. You
Right,
have difficulties in finding out who contributed all these funds. And there are we know also about foreign money that is involved in this, uh, which which is against the law, and all kinds of monies. Who knows? Because didn't go to interesting thing about his modus operandi that he created many legal changes, actual legal changes, without actually changing the laws. So because he went about it by not going to Congress, but paying people what you call grassroots in order to go and demonstrate and influence, and he got his way, and paying the politicians to turn a blind eye
right,
at best.
right. And now I think if I was reading some articles about him funding rallies around Abrego Garcia,
Sure.
so it's just that the hits just keep on coming.
Well, it is truly. I mean, Diego Garcia gave a press conference yesterday,
Right,
and today he was calling. He said that he wants to have what asylum.
Yeah.
He will be applying for asylum in the United States. Well, United States kind of said they didn't want him, I guess.
Right.
And the media doesn't actually, most of the media doesn't repeat the fact or mention the fact at all that he's a member of
MS-13.
MS-13. Yeah, that he is have been smuggling people to this country illegally. I mean, okay, this is funding everything that is illegal and trying to enforce it and reinforce it by having the media, which is also funded very often by Soros or his friends, to go on and really repeat it again and again until people, you repeat it again, people don't know what the truth is. People don't have much attention. So this is the last thing that was published. Poor immigrant. He's not, I don't know if he's poor. I don't think so, but he's certainly not an immigrant. He's a foreign alien that came here illegally and should be deported, even if he wasn't a member of MS-13.
Exactly. And for the life of me, I can't understand the support around any of this. I just don't
Well, so
understand the support for it. Go ahead.
so now Mandami, following the ideology really of not actually that people do not commit crime. People who commit crime are innocent, and so Mandami is offering now to actually cancel a whole part of the legal system, of the criminal legal system, by canceling misdemeanors. There will be no
Right.
misdemeanors in New York. He's the mayor, and other felonies will be changed into to misdemeanors. I don't know, something less. So, and he doesn't want policemen on the streets. He actually wants
Yeah.
social workers on the streets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I live in New York, and I'm telling you, this is not very encouraging.
No, and I wouldn't think the people of New York would be encouraged at all, but I am baffled by the show of support. I'm baffled by the show of support for him. Just absolutely baffled. He's still what, around 15 or 20%? Go ahead.
I don't know actually who's supporting him. There is a lot of noise in the media because most of the media is left, okay?
Right.
So the New York Times reporting, or the the Daily News in New York, and the ABC, I mean the legacy TV in New York is supporting him. But look at this brilliant 33-year-old. He never had a job in his life. I mean,
Right. Right.
going around New York City. So, but I think there is much more propaganda around him than actually support that he got, because I live in New York. I know the people. I don't think that many people whom he claims have supported him for and gave money for his elections in the primaries actually gave that money. I don't know who gave money, because people here really, New York is very, very expensive, and they don't have 25 or 30 or $50 to give to Mamdani. So now it turns out we hear more that actually there were some possibly foreign money that was going for not from New York, and possibly not from the country, that was going for to support his election. I don't know if anybody is looking into it, but I said from the get, as soon as I heard that he won the primaries, that somebody should look into it, because it would be interesting to find out how many people received money to give it,
Right.
to give part of it to Mandami, and from whom, which is, of course, against the law. I don't have the means to investigate it, or the legal.
Yeah, but if you go down that road, Doctor, you almost have to wonder if a lot of that dark money is coming from your subject, Soros.
Well, so he spent on the previous election. He spent more than $87 million. So
Really?
now his son Alex, that is declared that he's more political than his father, and he proves to be because he'd given actually already millions to organizations that support Abrego, Garcias, and Mamdani, and other progressive and anti-Israel and anti-American demonstrators in the city. So yeah, they are doing that, and he will continue to give even more money, possibly, in order to get him elected. And this is not good. And in addition, we have to remember that Mamdani is also a Shiite, but he's Shiite. He's not I mean, he's an observant Muslim who wants and said so and sent tweets out interested in actually spreading the global intifada. What is the global intifada? Global intifada is actually the killing of the infidels. It's not only Israel and Jews.
No, it's
It
everybody.
is
Everybody
killing.
is not Muslim, right? Yeah,
Not everybody is not Muslim like they are.
right,
There are several sets of Muslims, so like they are.
right,
It is the
right.
same as the Iranian Ayatollahs. So if he is elected, we will have a combination, forbid, we will have a combination of radical, well, of communism and government, of city-controlled supermarkets, which probably will have nothing on the shelves, and everything will actually cost more, and they will be badly managed, and the money will be disappearing, and food selling stores will have to close because they won't have people going to buy anything. And he's promising freezing the rent, so no new construction will be actually undertaken in the city, because if you cannot actually make any money on renting the apartments, which is the biggest portion of really the housing here in New York, and the rents are very, very expensive, then why build anything? And taxing people who earn any kind of money, raising the minimal wages to $30 at
Oh my
least.
goodness.
People will not be, businesses will close because they won't be able to support it. And there will be many more people on unemployment. So they can be actually, I don't know where the money will come from. Maybe Qatar, which is not far from actually possibility the way things are going.
Right, right. Well, all I can say is that he's probably going to turn New York City into a ghost town if he actually does become mayor, because people are going to tolerate it. Wall Street will move to Dallas or Nashville or Florida, and people that can leave will leave. And I suppose there's going to be a part of
Many
the
people
population. Go ahead.
Many people already left because in the last, with de Blasio and with the current mayor, with crime out of hand, although they are very proudly saying that crime is actually down.
Most, yeah,
Well, okay,
yeah,
so today only 2 people were killed on the subway, right?
yeah.
And 2 more children were shot in the Bronx. This is no crime, and you don't know what will hit you when you walk on the street, and the stench and the dirt, and this is terrible, absolutely terrible.
So, that begs the question, Rachel, why do people tolerate it? Why aren't people out in the street screaming and yelling at these people? I just don't understand it. If it was your neighborhood and they were doing things like that, well, say for example, if it were in my neighborhood, people would be coming out of their houses in mass, So I don't understand why people their level of tolerance for this.
Well, normally, the fact that people live in very big buildings, many don't know their next door neighbor.
Right.
There is not much connection between many residents that live here, but and the people who go to work don't have time to go and demonstrate because they are trying to make a living.
Well, and they don't get the $200 from Soros either.
And they don't get it. At least the wealthy are taking, I don't know, they have cars, they have chauffeurs.
Yeah, and they live in Connecticut.
Surely in the summer they are not here.
Right.
They are all in the Hamptons or in Maine or Massachusetts.
Right.
And during the winter, they are down in Florida.
Right.
So it is a complicated situation. But I have to tell you that walking out in the evening is you are taking a risk, and this was not the situation until few years ago, and you could see the difference when Giuliani was elected after the city was really ravaged with crime and stinking because of the dirt that was not collected, and the city was mismanaged. In the first 6 months, it took Giuliani 6 months. In 6 months, you could walk in the middle of the night, and I did. I walked many blocks, like 50 blocks in the middle of the night, after midnight, actually, alone in the streets. And I didn't fear anything because there was nothing to fear.
Right.
And you didn't have any more needles, crack needles and crack vials all over the place. The city was organized, clean, and there was law and order. But it was a long time ago. Since the Democrats and more progressive actually were elected, the city really deteriorated a lot. And having, as we said already, having prosecutors defunding the police, having a governor that actually was very happy to cancel bail for criminals, and then having prosecutors that didn't keep anybody in prison and downgraded the whole criminal system didn't help. So this has to be corrected, and I hope that the people of New York will be smart enough not to elect Mandani. As much money as he will get from Soros, from Qatar, and from the Chinese. So
I think you're right. I think the Chinese are flying under the radar on a lot of this.
Not much actually. There was a big there was an expose actually in the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken, about how the Chinese are having people here, the PCC, the Chinese Communist Party, have been sending people here in order to control the Chinese population. There is large Chinese population here, and most of them has families back in China. So they send people in order to control them or keep an eye on them and direct them to where to, what to do, who to vote for, and stuff like that, and actually also giving money. So I hope the FBI and New York police are investigating it. But this is happening, and this has been. The situation have actually deteriorated so that the Chinese can do that. And Qatar is doing the same thing with the radical Muslims here, and Turkey, and they are able to do that because the situation had deteriorated so much because of all the we started with George Floyd, right? And the demonstrations that Soros organization, many others have actually funded. So, and riots everywhere. So they really softened the belly of the people of cities, which facilitated later what is happening. So I think that what the president is doing with the National Guard, cleaning up Washington, D.C., is very, very important. And I hope that more cities, even run by Democrats, will actually be inspired by it and try to do something good for their citizens instead of looking into, well, how much more money can I get from Soros and his friends?
Yeah, I was going to say that I think Chicago right now is holding up their hand saying, I want to be next because of the tragedy in South Chicago. Huh?
Yeah, but the mayor,
the mayor, the governor, everybody's pushing back on it. But sure. I would think that the population of South Chicago would be, raising their voice, and they are. Go ahead.
No, they are, because the place has been really crime-ridden for many, many years, and it's getting only worse.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm wondering if, relative to Trump's tweet on going after Soros, if that would also include all of the NGOs that he probably sponsors. There, all of that stuff. Go ahead.
Otherwise, nothing will happen.
Right.
What is RICO? RICO is also conspiracy to commit crime between, it's not one person, it's several entities, right? Or
Right.
people. So funding, it is endless. There are some publications with lists of sources directly funded organizations, but he funds indirectly so many others that it is, even AI, if you want to use artificial intelligence, will not give it to you. Why? Because what is an AI? An AI is a combination of many computers that have much more information and they can give you the information faster, right? Well, they give you only information that somebody actually put in. If the information was not in the computer, you won't have the information. And I tried. I did all kind of experiments. And many things are not there. Things that I have evidence for on different issues. Source is one of them. So you get what actually, it spit out what was put in.
Yeah. Well,
But it
yeah,
had to be investigated.
and I would imagine that Soros has probably got a room full of people covering his ass on just about every topic, because I've got to believe well, number one, I believe he knows what he's doing, even though it's evil, he still knows what he's doing and he's covering his tracks quite well. So it's going to take a big effort to get him accountable.
A serious effort, but it can be cut down drastically. That was Soros said from the get-go when he started with his Open Society Institute, as it was called at the time in 1992, here in the United States, that he 93 that he wants to change America. Well, he did, and not for the better.
No.
So that and he went directly to change some legal constraints, not by going to Congress, but by changing laws, but by going to states and going to cities and having huge propaganda campaigns and paying off a lot of money to NGOs, etc., in order to change local laws and then state laws, and then with the hope to influence the whole country. He said that this is in order to he's doing it in order to improve the justice system.
Yeah.
So that was from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, where can people find your book, Dr. Ehrenfeld?
The book can be found on Amazon.com. It's The Soros Agenda on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and other booksellers. And if people go to acdemocracy.org, American Center for Democracy, acdemocracy.org, they can find more information about the book, about Soros, and about terrorist financing and political Islam and much more.
Well, it's been an absolute delight. Our discussion. I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, but I would like to touch base with you a little, at some point in the not too distant future to see where we're at, because as you mentioned, things are changing, and I think in Gaza things are changing. They're moving,
well,
a little bit.
You see what happens.
Yeah.
They are having a meeting today. They are having a meeting today at the White House. The two Israeli ministers are here. The foreign minister and minister for special national security issues here in Washington, discussing it with Trump. And Trump invited actually Jared Kushner and Tony Blair. They are in Washington now discussing this. So I don't know, to try and figure out what to do.
We've been talking with Dr. Rachel Ehrenfeld, the author of the book, The Soros Agenda. And again, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to listen to more Clarity from Chaos shows on demand, go to clarityfromchaos.buzzsprout.com or send Dave an email at info@clarityfromchaos.com for information on previous shows. You can also listen to the show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Twitter, or Google Podcast. Until next time, please remember, it's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Be well, everyone.